Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. So y'all, really quick, I know I've been MIA. Like I said, I've had a lot on my plate from having my daughter full time, my new I guess love life, and just work. Fuck these cars. I'm like, y'all must just get up and say, I just want to drive. I don't have nothing to do. Like, folks be, and I guess in my mind, I always have something to do. Even when I'm driving, like, I'm not driving just to be driving. I got somewhere to be. So I'm learning, a part of me has to learn to just slow down. It ain't that deep. But other times, I'm like, folks, really? Um, they're not very good at, like, I don't know, people just be zoned out, man. And it's, I don't know if that's a thing to be when you're driving, like, I don't know. But anywho, I wanted to check in with you guys because I have been saying this for a while, and I think that for a lot of, hang on, Kamala Harris and Trump, right? And there's this whole like theatric like fiasco, right? Happening, okay? And I am still sticking to what I said, and I will continue to stick with what I said, which is that I will not be voting for either side. I do feel like there's a lot of misinformation happening, especially being that I live in Denver, Colorado, right? And I am living this reality in everyday time, right? And so I would think that people from Denver, Colorado are actually most qualified to speak on the issues here. And while you have, I also want to keep in mind and want people to understand something. You're not always dealing with, when you're dealing with Denver, Colorado, or Colorado in general, you're not always dealing with the most, how can I say this? There's a lot of people that see things from their point of view, right? And our point of view kind of shapes how we tell a story and or tell a narrative, right? And so the situations, and I'm gonna be honest, fear is never a good feeling. That's number one. Anything that makes you feel fear, it's actually worth diving into so that you don't really fear it as much anymore, right? Some things are obviously most important than others. I got the news that the Venezuelans were taking over, just like y'all got the news, right? Which I think is very interesting, being that I live in this state. I drive past those apartments every time I go pick up my daughter. I don't drive past the apartments that were shut down, but this other apartment complex that they were going to try to get shut down or whatever, I drive past those all the time. I actually drive past those when I'm picking up my daughter and I'm headed home. I don't live too far from there. I will say that I live a ways out, about 10 minutes, but I don't live too far from those apartments, okay? And the reason I say this is because I grew up on these streets, right? I know what this city's like. And truth be told, about two of these apartments is they're not really in the best neighborhood, right? They're really not. Okay. These neighborhoods are not the best for many reasons, whether it be gangs, drugs, whatever. Okay. They haven't been the best of communities for a very long time. This ain't nothing new, whether it's been a Republican in office or Democrat. That this particular part of Aurora, Denver, um, is not the best. And you know that because of where it's located. Like, naturally, people who know better know that that's not really their thing. Like, they're not going backwards. So it's bizarre to me, okay, that all of a sudden we care about the state in which these apartments were in and the conditions of the apartments. Like, that's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And it does signify, in my opinion, because of the circumstances. So I know that the conversation has been, oh, the Venezuelans are taking over. Now, the narratives have been put out, they keep changing based upon who puts them out. There was a narrative that, oh, the Venezuelans are kicking out all the blacks, right? And I told you guys that's a bunch of bullshit. There ain't a whole lot of blacks that even live in that complex. Most black people, it's not like you're dealing with a very low demographic of people that do not have money in terms of blacks in Colorado. It's not all of us, right? A lot of people, in order to even sustain themselves, um, will do it. This dude is literally riding their brakes like, what are you doing? You must be drunk. Drive your shit. Sorry, excuse my language. Just do. Oh, Lord. And they're turning the way in which I gotta go. So I'm stuck behind this fool of a driver who's probably drunk, because that's what it looks like. What are you doing? Oh my God. This driver is real special. They're really riding their brakes this whole time. And it's frustrating because you're trying to get somewhere. And this guy is just like, you could tell it's an Acura, it's one of them old ass cars. Dude's probably rolling a blunt up in the car right now while trying to drive. Like, that's what that car looks like. Not the best. So I'm going to do everything in my power to get around this car. I got to, because it's not the best to driver. This is how accidents start. People like them. And instead of getting over in the left lane, they get in the left lane instead of getting over to the right lane. That's crazy. It's crazy. This drives me nuts. And I swear people do that shit on purpose. And that's why road rage is such a thing, because you have some drivers who just don't give a fuck. Like, they really need to, and I hate to say this, but they need to put Americans in a position where, good job. Now that Acura knew what time it was going. Because, I mean, people are driving like, I swear everybody and their mama's high here, man. It's not even that we're not a busy state. We are. It's just folks be diddly daddling, man. They don't care. But anywho, yeah, that Acura did well. Good girl. Whoever's driving that car, great job. But anywho, so this thing with this Venezuelan conversation is not coming from an honest place. And unfortunately, it's not really coming from the Democratic side as much as it's coming from the Republican side, right? Which, again, it's all about propaganda. How can we prop up propaganda? Or make it seem like it's true so people believe in us or whatever. Again, I keep going back to, anytime you feel fear, fear is, what did they say? False evidence appearing real. Oh, that I don't even have to get over. They just drove right through the red light. Okay. That's Colorado for you too. Folks don't be following the law. But false evidence appearing real. So the thing that I was getting from this Venezuelan conversation, if I was to listen to it online, right, is a lot of fear, a lot of fear, a lot of like, I'm scared for my safety type nonsense. Okay. That's not okay. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. That's not okay. That's to say everything. This car be scooting up like it's about to get in front of me. No, ma'am. No, sir. But it's not okay. And so when you start to have this overwhelming level of fear, you gotta look at it from an angle. Sorry, my friend, but that was a tap on the gas. Good luck, truck. That truck thought it was doing something. Oh, I'm gonna get past her. No, sir. Have fun with that, my friend. All right. I don't want to be stuck behind now one of y'all because neither one of y'all know how to drive. Just tell. The drivers just, they don't even need to say, I'm a bad driver. You just can tell. But anywho, um, that's the thing. So a lot of people don't understand that it's not what they're hyping up in the media. That's not the reality. I was going around super scared, right? Realizing that it ain't as deep as what they're saying it is. Now, are the migrants or these people taking over, quote unquote, depends on what your definition of taking over is. They're not going door to door. I don't believe that all these Venezuelans are going door to door, taking people's rent. I just don't believe it. Like, I just feel like if it was that deep, there would be much more of an upheave, and there's not, because that's not necessarily the case. Yeah, buddy. You thought your Saturn was something. And Saturns are fast. They just don't know how to drive the Saturn to make it fast. Either that or people really be underestimating my car, man. I'm like, that's crazy. Y'all see the car on the road all the time. Actually, my car you don't see all the time. Come on, car. I'm going to get in front of you. That's fine. Go on. I must have did something to my car. Because now, thank you. Either that or my turbo boost said it ain't working right now. Must have wore out my turbo. My turbo was not trying to kick in just now, which is not normal. There we go. Yeah, my turbo has to build up. I'm just now learning that. I was like, something happened. Um, I've been going fast, but not with my my foot on the gas the way it needs to be. So my car's been doing something funky. And then when I tried to hit my turbo, it wouldn't let me go. I had to use my horsepower, which is a little bit harder to go faster, but it's all good. Anywho, I don't believe, and this is just a lot of people I talk to in Colorado. I get the lady, what's the Congress, what is she, the councilwoman or whatever? But you also got to remember the demographic of the councilwoman. And I say that with the most humblest. I'm not trying to disrespect her, but there is a certain demographic of Caucasians in this state that are actually very, very racist. Okay. And I'm not saying she's racist or she's not. I'm just saying, homegirl, when folks say things, they're speaking from a point of view that only they can. It's like I could see a white person saying they're taking over. Considering the history of white people, like I could see that. Not all, but a lot. Okay, and I can understand that how what's the word? The saying, the phrase does not necessarily mean that these folks are walking around, robbing everybody and their mama. You know what I mean? Like, it don't necessarily mean that. Trying to, jack people for their homes, got AR-7, whatever, 47s or whatever they be, AK-47s, y'all know what I'm talking about. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's happening everywhere. Isolated incidents? Of course. Do we have a higher population of that Trende, whatever gang? Possibly. I mean, that's what they're saying, of course. But to me, it ain't no different than the Bloods, the Crips. I mean, yeah, they're from a different state, MS-13. Like, they're not any different. Are they something new that America is not used to, that we've never had to deal with before? Yeah. But we pretend like this, like I say, like everything is hunky-dory everywhere. Now, all of a sudden, these people come in and, oh, it's the worst situation. And it's like, this is how it's always been. So I guess I'm a bit confused as to why all of a sudden the conversation is a big deal. I was about to say, don't cut me off, bro. That ain't cool because you was just behind me. Be smart about what you're doing, player. But he was. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot more to this conversation than what we understand. I feel like there's a lot of money involved for somebody somewhere down the line. I feel that the story itself is fabricated at a level for political gains and reasons. Which I will say this, it would be nice to see Colorado have a bit of a balance. It would be nice to see Colorado have a bit of a balance as it relates to Democrat and Republican talking points. Just saying. So I don't believe, and I'm gonna do it. I don't have time. I'm going to work, y'all, so I don't have much time. But I don't really believe the story is what they say it is. I believe it's hyped up. From my experience, I mean, I'm just not seeing it. Should we be concerned with our safety? Yes. But I feel like that's an everyday thing. I feel like I just feel like there are certain reasons people who are benefiting from the storyline. Okay. And I will say that on all sides, not just, one party over the other. Everything just seems to be fake, staged. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe anymore. So I will not be voting because I cannot vote in a space that I don't understand what's happening. I don't get it. I can't do it. So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all, for now. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.